You know, in most situations that involve post-game content, things that talk about endings, I would tell you, like, spoiler warning, but there's really not much to talk about here, so proceed at your own caution, I guess. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Titanium Legman, and welcome back to the channel.
Unicorn Overlord.
Hello everyone, as always, if you enjoy what I do, my coverage of Unicorn Overlord, or potentially some upcoming other games like, say, Aiden Chronicle, then a like on this video and a subscription to the channel so you don't miss my coverage would be very much appreciated. Thank you so much. So what is the topic of the day today? The topic today is the post-game content, what there is of it for Unicorn Overlord. If you saw my previous stream about this, then you know that there's not actually that much going on here. Of course, you might know this just because you've done it yourself as well. But I wanted to take the chance to talk about what is there and why, at the end of the day, I feel like it's fine that there's not much there. So let's talk about first what it is. When you clear the campaign of Unicorn Overlord, you're dropped into Grand Kareen, where you can go ahead and speak with all the characters, get a little bit of post-story dialogue with everyone, find out what their plans are, how they feel about you, kind of wrapping up some of the loose ends of the story, and being able to just kind of revel in the fact that, yeah, you did it. Man, you took the capital back, everyone is here, everyone that you encountered over the course of the game has gathered up and is celebrating with you, and it's a nice little epilogue. I love when you get to do stuff like that. I think of things like the Mass Effect 3 Citadel DLC, where you can just kind of have a huge house party with all the different major party members and NPCs from throughout the series and everything. It's fun. Just a way to hang out with these characters just a little bit longer before or just after the main story concludes. You're also able to go into the shops and everything in Grand Kareen, get some powerful items that you can then take with you for the rest of the post-game content. Recruit some cool variants of some particular classes, namely the 4 generals that betrayed Elenia at the start of the game. You can get their like alternate sort of skin. So for the Legionnaire, Doom Knight, Paladin, you actually recruit a generic Paladin and Great Knight. It's really cool. It's really fun that you can actually do this. I love alt skins for generic classes in games. I wish you got access to these earlier, but I understand why you don't, because they are technically just the skins of these enemy generals, so like it'd be weird to just have a generic that looks just like them. I get it. You're able to grab some items, some resources, and then you can leave Grand Kareen. And what happens is the game tells you, well, it's going to put you back to prior to the start of the final battle. You're like, okay, well, I mean, then I guess I can just like run around, explore the overworld, finish off any side quests that I didn't do. If there's anything I want to like grind up, get my characters to level 50, hit up the Coliseum, whatever. But then something very interesting happens. The sages reach out to you one last time and let you know that there's trouble brewing in the ruined capital of the former Zenoiran Empire, the one that was like prior to Cornea and all the other nations rising and everything that's up in the northern reaches of Cornea. It's like, oh, okay, what do I need to do? It's like, well, go up there and we'll show you. So you head up, and what unfolds is this very interesting sort of what-if battle that presents the idea of what if Zenoira won and turned, corrupted, possessed, or otherwise all of the characters that you otherwise got to know over the course of your game. How is it that you would handle that? And basically what this does is allow you to recruit all of the other major NPCs that you encountered over the course of the game. Elenia joins up, Mia or Milia, whatever, the sister of Nina, the warrior, is able to be recruited, funnily enough, even though she has barely any role in anything. The other Dark Marquess join up, such as Alcina, which made me very happy because I love Alcina, she's my favorite. And you're able to get one last hurrah in against Baltro and yourself. This is pretty cool. It's just a fun little way to recap the entire game. The fight is broken up into 4 different sections that represent the major countries and the characters that you encountered there. They're even divvied up into their own squads based on like who would make sense would be with who and everything. This actually runs into a couple of funny scenarios where you actually wind up fighting the same characters sometimes twice because they showed up in 2 different places, which is funny. They're even like different classes and they can be on the board at the same time. But it's a fun fight. You know, it's not too difficult. The enemies are much higher level than you, but the XP scaling is jacked through the roof as well. So you actually power level extremely quickly going through there. And a lot of the enemies are in their base classes because it's just whatever class that character was when you first encountered them is what they are in this battle. Like, they get different gear and everything, but you'll be fighting a lot of basic fighters, warriors, hunters, things like that. So it's not particularly tough, but it is cool to see, and being able to pick up all these characters like Gailey along the way and just use them and know that they're going to join you afterwards is a ton of fun. It's also nice being able to get Queen Elenia. Having another Crusader with you is a ton of fun. I love her class, I love her design, so it's nice to have her with us. And it's a fun way to cap things off. That said, once you finish that, that's it, really. You can go through and do the other stuff I was describing, like you can go and do any other side quests that you hadn't finished, grind up your various different squads to be maxed out, min-max all of your different builds and everything, do some mock battles against yourself to see really what each class is capable of, and then hit up the Coliseum. Grind out a bunch of battles, really deck yourself out in some opulent gear, do some online battles to see who's rocking what and how you can overcome them. And, yeah, that's it, man. There's no big gauntlet of battles to do, no sort of dungeon-esque things like a Palace of the Dead or anything like that. It just kind of ends. And I've seen people kind of critiquing the game for that. Why is there no New Game Plus? Why is there not a more robust post-game, things like that? And I mean, that's fair. That is fair. I understand why you would feel that way, because I want more content for Unicorn Overlord as well. Like, we know that there's no plans for DLC. At the moment, there's no plans for a sequel, but there is that survey that went out that is implying that they're at least looking at the idea again, which is pretty exciting. But, like, yeah, no updates, nothing really planned. And I want to play this game a lot more. That's why I'm planning on starting my True Zenoiran Permadeath Challenge run tonight. Actually, if you're watching this video on release, we'll be streaming that. It's going to be a great time. But just because I want to experience more of the game. And it would be great if there was a New Game Plus, if there's all this post-game stuff. However, I'm also someone who has very much been of the opinion that it's okay for a game to just end. There could just be a definitive end for a game. Credits roll. That's it. I don't think you need New Game Plus. I don't think you need a post-game. And I don't think it's really fair to knock a game that seems like it set out to achieve certain things and achieved those things for not having a post-game, New Game Plus, etc. Is it always nice? Yeah. Especially if it's a game that you really enjoy. Of course it's going to be nice to have more stuff to do in it. But, like, Mass Effect games, going back to that, they just end. Things like Zelda games, they just end. Most Fire Emblem games, they just end. Maybe you'll get like a creature campaign or something that you can mess around with. Maybe a multiplayer mode, depending on what game you're playing. That's it, man. So for Unicorn Overlord to not have something that extends the playtime of it, like a particular campaign, it's a shame, but I think it's fine. You might not feel that way. I totally understand that. And people are going to say, well, it's 2024. Expectations for game development change. The standards for what a game should have available change. Sure. But I don't think those expectations are always warranted. And updates to game development in one sector of game development have no need to reflect onto other sectors of game development. So, yeah, the post-game is kind of fine. It's not bad, just fine. But I think that's okay. Because at the end of the day, Unicorn Overlord has a huge, sprawling campaign that's a ton of fun, with so many different ways that you can play, so many different challenge runs you can do, so many different characters you can use. The replay value that it has is, in my opinion, really high. Despite the fact that there is maybe a conversation to be had about difficulty and all that type of stuff. But that's what challenge runs are for anyway, right? So that's where the content is. And knowing what we know about Vanillaware having run out of money during development, I think I can give them a pass even more so on a lack of post-game content. Now, in the future, if there is some sort of magical patch that adds in a New Game Plus mode or more post-game content or whatever, like, I'm not going to complain. I will be all over that. Like, you would never believe. Like, no question about that. I'm not going to deny. But as it stands, I think Unicorn Overlord is a damn fine, complete product. And having just a fun little post-game mission and a couple of little things to do as a reward for, hey, you beat the game, it's better than nothing. It could have just been Finn, you know. With that said, though, I do want to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comments how you feel about what post-game there is in Unicorn Overlord. Were you looking for more? Do you think it's an outright negative that there isn't more, or are you happy with what they've done here? Let me know all of that in the comments down below. Check out the True Zenoiran Challenge Run stream starting tonight at 9 p.m. Again, if you're watching this on release, I hope to see you there. And also, I forgot to squeeze it into one of the videos over the weekend, so I do need to thank my supporters. So, from my YouTube members, thank you all so much. Canadian Animator Guy, Tojo Jr., Luxor, Tenshi, Matthew Berry, King Tony, John Eaton, Captain Planet, Light B, Midday Moonlight, Matthew Snyder, RJD, Michael Poole, Dre, X13, Segno, The Game Reaper, Lost Knight, Joshua, Rocktopudge, Little Big Trouble, Retsu, Pristinely Ungifted, Caffeine System, Hybrid Custode, Noche, Izzy, Zenny Boy, Eugenio Olivencia, Jorge Martins, Xavier Parker, Joseph Tolliver, Unborn 187, Spatial Barley 55, Comarin, Renee, Craig, Xiaofi Siakur, Ethan Hunt, Kujiko 123, Merrick Adams, Tadpole, Grim Tidings, Cthulhu Core, Mishi Show, Niku, Dalusong, Omega, Druck, Rena Habak, Chaos Wolf, Cinnabon, Zero Star 2, Derek Powell, Krusty Soda, Daniel J, Joel, Cyanide, Baka Nikujaga, Matrix 4828, Keith Lavorne, Jimbo, Justin Alley, Locke, Mr. CC33, K-Cat, Abraham G, Cyberwolf, Photrius, Pyrelis, Xylo1111, Dragvindle, Hexsong, Cult for Vengeance, Game and Train, 20 IQ, Rasalic, Mark Rhodes, Kai Zero, DA, Heartland, Ethan Holmes, Jose Pineda Merced, Edward Mosqueda, Smile Company, Super Blue, Ocat Amerpus, Skizulander, Jack J, Brunt 89, Aaron Pitts, Berto, Maria, Blue Sea, Matthew Tipping, Almir, David Vides, Pop-Up T, Ryan Casey, El Benny, Mariad, Silverdew, Divaz, Karnak, Ketrel, Harry Back, Zoltor, Otegus, and Nord VPN. Yikes. There are 105 YouTube members currently. I need to look into a different way to thank all of you each week because this is getting to be quite a bit, but thank you all so much for being here, whether you are a member yourself or were gifted a membership. It means the world, seriously. Ad rev can be tough, man. So having the direct support from people here in my YouTube memberships and on my Patreon, which we'll talk about in a second, means the world. It truly helps so much. Speaking of those patrons, thank you so much. God, there's more of you every time I look. Thank you so much to Caffeine System, 18C, Navi, Kejo, Christian Soto, Chris Muller, Yoking Haddock 67, Riley Thatcher, Firestorm 447, Stella Stallion, Faytail, Connor B, Jonathan Conley, Tefmon, Riak Olivier, Darius, Zachary Tincher, Lightbee, Abigail, Gryffindor, Tajian, True Mayhem, Jim Hamilton, Lightning Fang, Holly, Ashbourne, X13, Greg Reinhardt, Vincent Gerbaki, Mayo, Momo Cruz, Izzy, Renee Pinot, Guts of Rivia, Kue, Skelton 2, Vantris, Thought Spasm, Mateo Kovacic, Kevin Kurz, Grim, T-Force G, Heartland, Spatial Barley, Pika 3245, Andy, Davis Betta, Joseph Santiago, Dalton Robertson, Karen Gray, Matthew Tipping, and Chris Hackett. Same thing goes to you guys. Seriously, Patreon, YouTube memberships, it means the world. It helps immensely. I can only hope that one day we can get to the point where I'm big enough and stable enough that the only thing I have to ask of you guys is that you watch the videos and enjoy. But until we get to that point, all of this support truly, actively makes my life livable. Thank you all so much. It means the world. With that said, though, I'm going to wrap this one up here. My name has been Tom, otherwise known as Titanium Legman. I hope you all have a good night. Stay safe and healthy out there. And remember, be good to each other. Bye now.